That'd be crazy, huh? My buddy Balla come over this afternoon and helped me pull the bed off the RCSB project. It's got a little problem. You can just see clearly through the front. Had a bottle of muriatic acid bust and eat all the metal out of it. Got a replacement bed. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to this. This is my 01 Silverado regular cab short bed or RCSB project. It boasts the 5.3 liter out of my 2006 extended cab, which we will be dropping a crate motor in later this year. All new front suspension, lowered spindles, springs, completely painted, and everything new. Ball joints, tie rod ends, you got it. With that being said, it's time to move on to the rear of the truck. And like, earlier, my buddy come over and helped me pull the bed off so we can get ready for the new bed. But I got a few things I need to do first. We're gonna go ahead and wire brush and clean everything under here. The leaf springs don't have any sag in them. They look really good. The fuel pump was recently changed, so I don't have to worry about that. Something's going on with this brake line here. We're gonna have to fix because it kind of doesn't do what it's supposed to do. We're gonna do an axle flip. The stock 10 bolt has got to go. We're gonna change it with this 14 bolt out of a Chevy Heavy Half. 80s or 90s, I'm not sure, but it's a 6 lug with a 373 diff, which is really gonna make this truck perform a whole lot better than the stock 323 open diff gears. We're also going to take this shock and relocate it like this one in this orientation to the rear of the axle so they're both even. I know it really doesn't make a difference because everything's kind of bolted tight and the leaf spring keeps everything in check, but it just looks better when they're both in the same position, you know? We're gonna go ahead and throw a C-notch in the frame right there for when you do the axle flip to keep the 6 inches of up travel like it was from the factory. This is awesome. Finally getting somewhere. So like I did the front, I'm gonna go ahead and I got my concoction of Purple Power and a zillion bubbles. It's like 75-25. The bubbles has got a lot of glycerin. It will help the Purple Power stick to more of what's here. So I'm gonna give it a good soak down with a good degreaser and then hit it with the pressure wash and knock all the funk off of it. Let's get it. So like an hour later, after having to rebuild the carburetor on my pressure washer, I ran it last week, it ran fine. I don't know what's up with gas nowadays, but it rusts the bowl out and it gets caught up in the pickup. I believe that is clean enough to work. Got all the stuff off of it. Might not even have to wire brush so much, but I did find this. This cross member that's bolted on or riveted on, it's not over there anymore. I said muriatic acid eats metal. Yeah, check this out. The cross member that holds up the gas tank, it's non-existent. It's gone from where the muriatic acid ate the metal. So have to pull off the evap and grind out the rivets. I already went to the junkyard and got a replacement piece. So just one more thing, not a big deal. We'll go ahead and make it sound and secure. Check the rest of the frame for any other things that might have gotten eaten up a little bit. Grind it up and put some paint on this thing. So before I put it back up in the air, here it is dry. It's just nothing but pure metal. Like I showed you before, this piece of frame is non-existent. It just, yeah, acid eats metal. Gangsta Bird Mafia. I got a piece to change out. Top of the gas tank's nice and clean. Everything came out nice and clean. So let's pull some shocks off and swap out a gas tank support. We'll take these shocks off. They look good, but they're going to be too long for what I'm doing. 21. Are they still good? No. For this brace being non-existent on one side, it's still sturdy. It's crazy. Oh, got a new one from the junkyard. Or new to me from the junkyard. Was this one any good? It's trying, but it goes down way too easy. I don't even know what brand these were. Don't matter anymore. Replacing these with some Bilsteins. So it's the next day in this video. I went ahead and removed the gas tank. Here it is. It's evap purge solenoid. Got to kind of shove that under here, get it out the way. I'm gonna have to cut the rest of the strap off where the strap was riveted through, or where the member was riveted through. Got the gas tank sitting here on some jack stands, supported with a 1x6. I'll get my jack out of here now. And the gas tank is being protected by a spray paint cap. It's sitting there, but nonetheless, nothing's going in it. So let's get to removing this rusty remnant of a gas tank frame hanger. So I went and weakened the top of the rivets with just a couple cross cuts, and that way I can get my air chisel underneath it and pop them off and then knock them out. Always remember to oil all your stuff before you use it. Means this is an air hammer. Put a little bit in it. That's all that was left on the driver's side. Nothing left on the bottom side either. Man, muriatic acid ain't no joke. Promise. Grab the old nibbler there. One. So I got two grinders. I have a brushless grinder, which spins 11,000 RPMs. And I have a brushed grinder, which spins 7,000 RPMs. The slower to spin, the less. As I was saying before my GoPro decided to turn off because of low battery at 30%, I have two grinders. I have a brushless, which turns 11,000 RPMs and really cuts through whatever I need. And then the other one is a brushed, which only spins 7,000 RPMs, and that stops these metal bristles from just flying all over the place. It keeps them more on the wheel and lasts longer, and you don't get all kind of metal stuck in your shirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up what we just riveted out and get the surface prepped and ready to install the new piece. So here's the new to me gas tank cross member piece. Went and wire brushed the whole thing. You put a good coat of Chassis Saver Black on it. And it's gonna live somewhere right in here. So now to install it, and that's what the problem comes in. Then when I removed this off the junkyard, it was riveted on one end and bolted on the other. So I only have the two bolts. You gotta go to the hardware store and go get two more bolts to finish bolting it in, which is probably gonna kill the rest of my day because I gotta go pick up my kid from school. I'm gonna bolt this in when I get back, and we'll pick this up again tomorrow, which will be the third day in this video. We'll see how far we can get this week, and then I'll wrap it up and edit it. We'll keep moving forward. All right, y'all, it is the third day in this video. It's Thursday, actually, and I need to get this video up for Friday, which is tomorrow for me. So I was a little bit ambitious when I started this thing off. I thought I was going to be able to knock a whole bunch of stuff out, but I'm still waiting on parts to show up that were hung up in shipping. Some axle purchase for the axle I want to put on it. Had to go to the store, once you get traffic around here where I live, your day's over with basically, and it takes an hour just to get anywhere. So I went to the store and I bought some new bolts. They are identical to the old bolts, less the impression on the head, but they're property class 10.9. They're flanged head and nut. They are 10 millimeter, so the strength is all the same, the diameter and length is all the same, and we can go ahead and bolt this cross member for the gas tank in. While I have the gas tank loose, I'm going to go ahead and knock the bolts out for the leaf springs, because the one on the driver's side has to go into the gas tank to get it out, which is a huge pain. So while the gas tank's loose, I'm going to go ahead and bust that off and at least get the axle out from underneath the truck. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop the old bolts on one side and the new bolts on the other. It really don't matter, because they're going to get a coat of chassis black on them anyway. These were unbolted from the truck at the junkyard. I got this cross member out of, riveted on the other side. Good thing I brought my grinder. So I'll go ahead and tighten those up in a second, but pop these in on the driver's side. Yeah, I was a tad over ambitious on this video. Sorry about that. But to do it right, it takes time. This isn't TV, this is real life, and sometimes things get in the way. And I just want to do the best I can on this build to make it as good as it can be. You know, it's like I keep saying, work with what you got. 15 millimeter time. It's nice working on a clean truck though. Took the time to pressure wash everything before I started working on it. 450 foot-pounds. Probably not, but it's still funny anyway. Still coming together slowly. I'm going to use a 15/16 to catch the back side, because it's close enough to a 24 millimeter that I'm using on the front side. But the reason I did this way is because try to push the bolt through into the gas tank, you really don't get anywhere. You end up having to cut a little bit of the back of the bolt off anyway to get it out past it. Swap, and now the new bolt's going to go in this direction. I can drop the nut down from the top right here in this little opening. Be able to hold it, tighten it back up when I put it back together. With the bed on, usually you undo the bottom one first, push the whole axle up to get it on top of the frame so you can slide the bolt out. Way easier with the bed off. Everything's spinning. So I just want to get the weight off of it enough to be able to knock the bolts out. Let's see. Pretty easy on that one. Give it a little bit more. Yeah, when you can just pull them out, you're good. A little wiggle. I haven't got the drive shaft taken off of it yet, but we can go ahead and let it down since all the springs are off. On the wheels. I haven't taken my jack for a walk lately. Something to remind the neighbors. So I went ahead and disconnected the emergency brake cables, took the drive shaft off, got it hanging. And the last thing I got to really do before I roll this rear end out from underneath the truck is take this brake line off. It must have gotten eaten up with some acid, because it's supposed to run in this track here, but it crosses over the top of the frame and kind of runs down, and it's rusty, and as it runs weirdly under the truck, there's a union under, like they patched it in. So I'm going to do it the right way while the bed's off and run it in the track how it's supposed to go. We got to bust it off anyway, and I want to put a line lock on the truck. So that way you're not trying to power through the back brakes when you want to show off. I'm going to go ahead and bust the line off here and just roll the axle out from underneath the truck. Put the gas tank back in where it's supposed to go and get the painting. As much as I hate to break the brake lines loose, I got to do it somewhere to do this correctly, because I want to rerun this line anyway. I'm doing the whole truck, I might as well do it right. Swapping out a rear end's a little more involved than you think it would be, because of the brakes and the emergency brake and everything else. It's a little more time consuming than I anticipated. So it's kind of like I said a little while ago, I was a little over ambitious for this video, but once you get into it and real life kind of gets in the way, you start to realize what you're in over. You can have all the best tools in the world and the nicest shop, but it still takes the time to do it. I'm glad I'm taking this off anyway, just because of this funky line. I get it, it was fixed in a pinch and it had to work, but I don't have to take this to work tomorrow. This truck can get set up and done correctly, and that's what I intend on doing. Always happens. Well, that is it. Keep this higher than the brake booster, and it won't leak anywhere. Nice. Let's get this rear end out from under here, huh? Let's go. It's a long way to run an axle breather. But here we go. Axle is out. So the last thing I want to do before I end this video is put the gas tank back up and hook the fuel lines up so I'm not getting any kind of moisture or weird dirt or anything up inside the fuel system. It's been suspended by this 1x6 and got my new strap. Rear strap is fine. The cross member has been bolted in with the same identical bolts on both sides since I'm not going to rivet it. Now we just jack it up, hook the lines, and screw the strap back up. So let's see if I can get these straps in to the hanger locations. Try to go on the side and push up. Okay. So this is what I got left to do, is get these two straps up in their homes. Got some bolts and an impact. Got to do that. But it sure is nice having everything clean, nothing's falling in your face to work on. Never in my life has this ever gone this easy. Just because I said that, this front one's gonna give me hell, watch. That's it, they're in. Wow. Well, that's one more thing I can chalk off the list of repairs I need to do before I can get back to modifying. So they got the drive shaft hanging off a strap, and the gas tank cross member brace has been changed out with a good piece from the junkyard. It's been wire brushed and painted with some chassis saver flat black. Now I can go ahead and move on to bigger and better things. Like we need to do some C-notches right here to accommodate the axle flip, and then measure for shocks once the axle's been reinstalled. Put a good coat of frame paint on the rest of the whole truck so I can put the bed back on it and get to sanding. I try to get a video up every week. If you're new to my channel and want to get caught up on RCSB project, just go to my channel, go to playlist, RCSB project. Press play and get caught up. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Catch y'all next week. Later.